In a very remarkable vision on the 15th of October 1997, God revealed that abortion was a grievous sin and warned politicians not to play politics with the issue to secure votes. In the vision, God showed to me on a huge television screen a fully formed baby in a mother's womb. The baby was very elegantly and colorfully dressed in a dress, hat, socks, and shoes while in the womb. And the baby smiled heartily as the hand of God protectively moved and positioned her in the womb. The baby was particularly very happy and excited when the hand of God positioned her down in the pelvis of the mother to prepare for birth. God has repeatedly shown me in visions a son that he will bless me with. In some of these visions, my yet-to-be-born son walks, talks, and plays with me. Sons are a heritage from the Lord, children a reward from him. Psalms 127, verse 3. When we abort babies, we are rebelliously disrupting God's plan for our lives, God's plan for the lives of the abortees, and God's plan for the world. In essence, we are telling God that we are wiser than him. The two fundamental reasons why we abort pregnancies are, firstly, that we have refused to obey God and follow his plan for our lives. And secondly, we lack faith to trust that God shall help us through every difficult and trying circumstance. We lack the faith to trust that God will provide for every child he blesses us with. If we obeyed God and followed his plan for our lives, we will never have unwanted pregnancies. If we trust God to provide for every child he blesses us with, we will never mother our unborn children. With God, nothing is impossible. Just trust and obey. In a vision on the 8th of December 1997, God condemned doctors who perform abortion as a means of birth control. Doctors were exhorted to help God to maintain life in accordance with their sacred professional obligation rather than destroy life. Adolescents were also instructed to abstain from sex until marriage. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end, it leads to death. Proverbs 14:12. Son of former President George H.W. Bush comes from behind to win race. In a revelation on the 11th of August 1998, I was seated in a sports stadium with former President of the United States, Mr. George H.W. Bush, and other people. Someone held a baby while a video of how Mr. George H.W. Bush raised his 3 sons was being played. It was then revealed to me that Mr. Bush raised his sons well. He nurtured them in the fear of God. By the Spirit of God, I expounded to Mr. George H.W. Bush and the others about the innocence of newborn babies. I declared that newborn babies do not know how to hate others, and they neither keep malice nor tell lies. They are spiritually pure, and therefore God loves them very much and places a very high premium on their lives because of their state of purity. Therefore, God shall be extremely angry with anyone who harms such innocent babies. While I was speaking, one of Mr. Bush's sons was shown running a very close race with another gentleman. Mr. George Bush's son was just behind his opponent at his heels. But just before the finish line, he overtook his opponent and won the race to the cheers and acclamation of people in the stadium. The 2000 United States presidential election is now history. It is crystal clear that the outcome was a deliberate act of God. President George W. Bush wins the election. Homosexuality and abortion determine outcome. On the 11th of September 2004, the Lord revealed to me lucidly and pictorially that then incumbent President of the United States, Mr. George W. Bush, would win the November 2004 United States presidential election, and that the outcome of the election would be determined by 2 issues: homosexuality, that's gay marriage, and abortion. I sent a letter to Bush declaring this on the 8th of October, 2004. God can and shall care for any population he allows on earth. Any suffering mankind faces is because of our own wickedness and sinfulness, which invite the sword of the Lord upon us. God, in his infinite wisdom, apportions to everyone various numbers of children, ranging from 0 to as high as 15 or more. The Lord knows the maximum population that the world will ever attain, because he is the creator who brings every person into this world. At every point in time, God takes account of the fraction of the population that will die naturally, those that will die by the wicked acts of evildoers, and those who will die by the sword of the Lord's wrath. And then he replenishes the earth with humans according to his purpose. God is in control of the dynamics of the human population. The Malthusian theory of population is flawed because of the erroneous impression it gives that God deliberately controls the human population by indiscriminately visiting mankind with famines, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. The sword of the Lord comes upon us not because God has pleasure in destroying us, but because we force the hand of the Lord against ourselves by provoking him to anger by our disobedience. Why would God save some of us from death if he has pleasure in destroying us? Do I take pleasure in the death of the wicked, declares the sovereign Lord? Rather, am I not pleased when they turn from their ways and live? Ezekiel 18:23. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his ways and the evil man his thoughts. Let him turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on him, and to our God, for he will freely pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. As the rain and the snow come down from heaven, and do not return to it, without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields seed for the sower and bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it. Isaiah 55, 6-11. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, or with the breadth of his hand marked off the heavens? Whom did the Lord consult to enlighten him, and who taught him the right way? Before him all the nations are as nothing. To whom then will you compare God? He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and his people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy, and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He brings princes to naught, and reduces the rulers of this world to nothing. To whom will you compare me, or who is my equal, says the Holy One? Lift your eyes and look to the heavens, who created all these. He who brings out the starry host one by one, and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. Isaiah 40, 12-28. Woe to him who quarrels with his maker, to him who is but a potsherd among the potsherds on the ground. Does the clay say to the potter, what are you making? Does your work say he has no hands? It is I who made the earth and created mankind upon it. My own hands stretched out the heavens. I marshaled their starry host. Isaiah 45, 9-12.